Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to explain briefly to you how to use Can8 at home. It's very simple if you happen to have Windows, either on a PC or installed as an emulator on your Macintosh. Unfortunately, on my Mac, there isn't enough memory to install Can8, so I have to go to the university to use it. And I suppose some of you may have to do that as well. But most of you probably have newer computers than I do, so you should be able to find this page. Can8 à distance. This is on one of our pages, see? École de langue Can8. Just look it up on Google. You'll come straight to this page. And here's the fichier d'installation. Here's the download to install the program. See, there you go. It's very small. Very small. I can't install it, so I'm going to close this. And once you have it installed, here's what I want you to do. Well, if you want to do it, here's what you can do. You sign in. You sign in. How do you sign in? Well, user ID, you put your usual student ID for that. Let's say I think it's 5 letters or 6 letters, something like that, or there's an alphanumeric combination. I think you know what your student ID is. Matricule étudiant. And then here for the password, you put your birthday. Now, I'm sorry, you're going to have to experiment with this because I don't remember which order the digits come in, but you put 4 digits for the year, 2 for the month, and 2 for the day. Or it's in the other order, 2 for the day, 2 for the month, and 4 for the year. Sorry, I don't actually remember. But whatever the customary order is at Laval University, you follow that order. Right, so as soon as you log in, here's what you get. You get this menu here. And you go straight to this item on the menu, étudiants, students. And then you open it. You open it and you go straight to English. And within that menu, you'll find teachers. And among the teachers, you'll find me, Finley. Joël Finley. Now you open that menu, teachers, Joel Finley, you'll find Advanced English 1. Now it doesn't actually matter which Advanced English it is, 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter. It contains material that all the groups need, really. Now you can open that. You see, teachers, Finley Joel, Advanced English 1, and go to exercises. First exercise I want you to look at is this one right here. It's called voicing. You can ignore these other ones. We will use them later. Not this week. Not yet. Not when we're just starting. So voicing, what is voicing? Well, in English, we have a number of common words, like the ones listed here, and many of them are opposed to each other by the voicing of the consonant. Not all of the pairs on this list are opposed in that way, but many of them are. I just put them all together because they seem to be challenging for most people, advanced or any level. So take the first example, the first pair, advice, advise. To give advice, advice is a noun, to advise somebody of something, or to advise somebody with with advice. The only difference between, or the main difference between these two words in their sound, that is, their pronunciation, is that you have advice and advise. So this consonant and this one z are only distinguishable from each other thanks to one feature, which is voicing of that consonant. Advice, advise. So some of these are not opposed in that way, but several of them are. Loaf, loaves. One loaf, two loaves. One leaf, two leaves. Singular, plural. Singular with voiceless final consonant, and plural with a voiced consonant, a corresponding voiced consonant before the plural marker S. Anyway, these are things that you should be checking in the dictionary simultaneously as you do the exercise. You should become aware that there's a difference between one thief and two thieves, for example. And then you've got some irregular plurals in here that you're also supposed to know. Goose and geese. They're distinctions, pairs of adjectives versus corresponding nouns. Broad is the adjective. Breadth, not easy to pronounce at first. Breadth is the corresponding noun. More commonly, breath and breathe. Notice that there's also a difference between the vowels. Breath, short vowel. Breathe, long tense vowel. Also, voicing between th and the. Belief, believe. Belief is the noun. What are your beliefs? One belief, two beliefs. In that case, the plural does not cause voicing of the F. What do you believe? So noun versus verb, they're opposed by as unvoiced and voiced consonants. It's an eccentric list. These are idiosyncratic or exceptional pairs, but they're pretty basic and you should learn them. Let's have a look here at something else. Okay, back under this rubric, Advanced English, number 10, there's something interesting there. What is in number 10? Here's number 10. Number 10, see? All right, I don't want you to pay any attention at this point to these other items. They're not relevant to you as beginners in this Can8 lab. But this first item would be very useful to all of us. I want you to press the button down here and record yourselves. Introduce yourselves. Explain what you think your most interesting challenges are with respect to two things. With respect to learning English in general, and with respect to learning to pronounce it in particular. Well, because that's what Can8 is for. We're focusing on that issue. So if you can, if you're prepared for this, do this, please. Do it this week if you can. Do it as soon as you can. I'd like to hear you. You can speak for as long as you like or as briefly as you please, or skip this page entirely if you find it invasive at this point, or if you just don't feel ready for it. By the way, you can re-record, you can play and listen to yourselves, and you can re-record yourselves as many times as you like until you're pleased, or at least satisfied with whatever it is that you record. All right, let's close that. What is this now? Now I want you to do something else. Let me see. Again, under Advanced English 1, there is a submenu entitled Midterm Oral. Well, that's from back in the good old days, or the bad old days, depending on how you see it, when the midterm exams for our courses included a set of oral examinations. Well, our courses do not any longer, but we still have oral examinations in the finals. And what used to be part of the midterm oral exam is now useful for exercise and preparation. So let's look at some of these exercises in preparation. Okay, midterm oral. First item is, well, the first one that concerns us now is called word pairs. Word pairs. See down here, I've recorded them. All you have to do in this exercise is to read what you see and record, imitate, copy what you hear. So you have two supports. You hear the model's voice down here, and you have the text under your eyes in front of you. So you just look at number one, listen, and you'll hear sarcasm, sarcastic. And then there'll be a few seconds in which you'll be able to repeat what you've just heard. And you have the text right here in front of you. So there should be no problem. All you have to do is imitate here. This exercise is an exercise in listening and repeating, and of course, reading at the same time. All right, so let's see what's next. Still under suffixes and accents. Just a minute, where is suffixes and accents? Where is that? Advanced English 1, the first item is suffixes and accents. All right, so now I want you to go into that sub-menu, suffixes and accents. Skip all of this. This doesn't concern you. It's unimportant. But go to this one here, which is entitled, Which Syllable? And for this exercise, which syllable, you've got, I don't know, maybe 100, I don't know how many words. And they're all related to each other. Sacrifice, sacrificial, parasite, parasitic, emphasis, emphasize, emphatic, and so on like that. And down here, we have two recording bands as before. In this one, the model is reading off this list rather slowly. And down here, you have the opportunity to listen and repeat. And you can start over as many times as you like. And of course, you're listening and repeating, but also reading at the same time. So it should be quite easy. It's long, though. It covers almost all of the cases that are in the document introduced in class on suffixation and placement of the accent. What next? Well, go to pairs. All right. Still under the sub-menu, suffixes and accents, after which syllable, you have another activity entitled suffixed pairs. Again, they're read for you. Oh, wait, no, maybe they're not. I don't remember. I'm not sure what this is here. Is that the model? Or is that the student? I can't remember. Well, you'll find out. Check it out. By now, you should have an idea of how to pronounce these pairs. So you see spastic, because you recognize this ending, spastic. And then spasticity, because you recognize this ending. Notice the connecting vowel I. So spastic is the basic word, and ity is the suffix. That's the third column of our text, our table, on suffixation and the position of the accent. And those suffixes in the third column cause the accent to come on the syllable immediately before the suffix. So it cannot be spasticity, like spastic. It can't be that. It has to be spasticity. Here's ity. That's the suffix with the connecting vowel I, so it has to be pronounced as spasticity. Similarly, down here, number 2, demon, demonic. Here, IC is the suffix. And in fact, the suffix is just the k. Well, that's all it is. And the I is, in fact, the connecting vowel. So you pronounce this obligatorily as demonic. What about this one over here? Here, the suffix is 3 syllables, I-A-C-A-L. But remember that the suffix counts as 0. 0, I-A-C-A-L, that's 0. And O-N, that's the first syllable before. D-E-O-M, that's the second syllable before. Under the rule, it's the third column, I-C, I-A-C-A-L. Under the rule, the adjective must come before the connecting vowel. So you get demon, demonic, and demoniacal. Demoniacal. The accent has to come in the syllable before this I. Well, you'll find that pretty easy, most of it. And if you ever get lost, that's the time to use your dictionary. The dictionary indicates the position of the accent. What next? Still under suffixes and accents, go to the next exercise. It's called compared pairs. It's very similar. So 1, electrical, electricity, electrical, electricity, electrical, not electricity, although there are some parts of the world where the word is pronounced that way. But in the Americas, you will pronounce electricity. There's really no other way to pronounce it. And you see the reason. There's this connecting I, and elect, that's the root. I-C-A-L is the suffix. The I actually is the connecting vowel between the root and the suffix. So you have no choice. It has to be pronounced electrical. Similarly over here, the suffix is I-T-Y, also in the third column of suffixes, and the I is a connecting vowel. So the syllable, the accentuated syllable, must be the one before. Electric, electrical, electricity, and so on down the line. Sarcasm, sarcastic. Notice what we call the syllabic M. Sarcasm, zum. Well, by itself, zum cannot exist as a syllable or a word. It's impossible. But it can occur at the end of words. So this is actually 3 syllables. Sarcasm. Zum would never appear alone. Okay, so you get sarcasm, and then sarcastic. I-C. The accent has to come here, right before it. Sarcastic. So do the compared pairs. I'm sure you'll recognize many of the words, and you'll already know their pronunciations, but there's some that you probably will not know, or you will not know how to do. This will become normal for you. It's the last one. Well, the last one, still under suffixes and accents. Which syllable, suffix pairs, compared pairs. Now there's a 4th one, derived words. We don't have pairs anymore. Sometimes we have series of 3 usually. Although the series can be longer. And here you see, I give you no hints at all. You have to record this yourselves. And you should look it up. You should look up the pronunciations that you're not sure of. Photograph, photographer, photography. This ER and this Y are in the fourth group. In the fourth group, the rule is that the accentuated syllable must be the second one before the suffix. So, photograph, there's no suffixation. There's a separate reason for pronouncing it as photograph as opposed to something else like photograph or something like that. There's a reason for pronouncing it as photograph. It's a bit of a long story. A bit of a long story sounds contradictory. It's a rather long story. We'll get to that in class. But these two words, photographer and photography, are suffixed words. They're suffixed with the ER, which is used to create the noun designating or denoting a person who is from a certain place or who does a certain thing, is responsible for a certain activity. So if the activity is taking pictures, photographs, the person who engages in that activity, especially as a professional, is the photographer. Well, here, ER is 0, graph is 1 before, and this to is 2 before. So it's photographer. Similarly, for photography, this Y is in the same family of suffixes. Well, I'm going to ask you to look at that table while you're doing these exercises on Can8 and try to justify the pronunciations that you hear in the previous exercises and be ready to find the position of the accent yourselves in this last exercise, derived words. I hope this has been useful.